Alright, so here we are at milestone 1. Start at the beginning, kind of what's been done thus far. So managers have been put into place. There are the sprite managers that manage essentially the 3 sprites, and then there's got the texture manager that manages the one texture file, and then there's the image managers that manages the 3 images. So that's kind of the underlying. Above that, there is the we have the proxies put into place that consist of an actual sprite, a reference to a sprite, and then an update that pushes or updates all the XY coordinates, the new XY coordinates for each proxy. I have it so that it kind of just goes through the list and updates every single one in the proxy manager. And then there is I have the sprite batch, which does the animation. As you can see, all the aliens are animating. That has been set up on a priority queue so that the animations can be changed and adjusted as needed. But so that's kind of in the process there. And then most recently, the game objects have been added so that every element is essentially a type of game object. There's a null object, which has nothing for the update, and then there's a squid, crab, and the game objects have like subcategories consisting of the squid, the crab, and the octopus. And then there's also a grid one, which for now is moving the grid back and forth. All of them are sprites, so they all kind of reference have some sort of sprite proxy and use a sprite. The update, the actual movement, is being done within the grid object. So the grid object has a method that moves the grid back and forth. I tried to do a move up and down method, but that didn't quite go as planned. Instead, it wouldn't move everything up and down. It wouldn't do anything. So I need to look into why that's going on. My suspicion is that it doesn't happen because I'm using just a regular sprite as the grid, and I'm not drawing the sprite. So instead of using an actual box or a little rectangle or a sprite box of some sort. So that's probably why it doesn't work. And then PCS nodes have been implemented on top of the object, which is how the actual animation is sort of kind of goes through the tree and does the update on the animation, left and right movement. And then factory has been implemented as well, so that there is a factory that as the factory goes through, it creates a proxy based on the name given. And then there's one for the grid as well. But I foresee that that's all going to be changing soon. At least the grid part of it definitely will be changing soon. Using a sprite for the grid isn't working out quite the way I thought it would. So changing it to a sprite box is probably my best option. And I'm going to have to find a way to sort of draw and remove it. But I'm guessing collisions, kind of when I start getting into that, it'll all sort of pan out. But that's what's been developed so far and what's being implemented right now on the screen.